Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. This is Leah, Ryan, Loft Manager Richard, and special guest, Loft Manager Mike Van Kempen. Ryan, I'm going to send it over to you. I'm going to check to make sure we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Take it away, Ryan.
See, we're already starting to set records here at the Pioneer Village on our family show. This is our very first family show of all family shows. This is our very first. We are ahead of schedule. We are 5 minutes ahead. So you people that didn't think that we couldn't do it, it took Mike Van Kempen here to get us 5 minutes earlier. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, thanks for tuning in. All we ask you to do is hit the subscribe link, hit the subscribe button there, subscribe. Share it to your friends, your family. Anybody who hates pigeons, I want you to share this page with them. That's how we get more of them to either hate us more or maybe convert them over. Again, this isn't a cult or nothing. This is pigeon racing, and we're all whacked out, to be quite honest with you. Ricky, how are you doing this evening?
Very good.
Ricky,
thank you very much.
You're doing good.
Yes.
Nice to see you here. And we're at the bar tonight.
I thought we were going to do a dry litter show.
Well, we forgot we had special guest
We can take the
Mike Van Kempen
flashlight out if you want.
Well, we're not going to do that tonight because we got Mike, and there's going to be just so many questions for Mike. We might just be blown away. Mike,
That's it.
how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Thanks for coming so early. I was just about to get into the shower when Mike phoned and said, "Ryan, I'm here."
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
I was here, so I
Get
knew.
in the shower and let's go.
Mike has been in the pigeon game. He was born into it.
Well,
Is that why we
before
early?
we get to that, let me give a big shout out to everybody who's tuned in on Facebook and over on YouTube. If you guys can hear us, if you guys can see us okay, please somebody let us know in the comments. Want to give a shout out to who do we got here tonight? Michael Peebler, hello, hello. Mike Sheridan, hello, hello. Nice to see you on Saturday, friend. Mike Vandriak, all about business. Are the team points being prorated to the number of birds that flew the first official race? Mike, you are on fire, Mike. We're going to worry about that at the end of the show, Mike, okay? Frank Eichhorn, hello, hello. Say hello to Kathy. I hope her little boo-boo is feeling better. Robert Cavender, nice to see you on. David Tracy, hello. And Frank Eichhorn is in the house and says all good. So thank you very much, guys. What are we doing tonight? We are going to start the show off by introducing you to Pioneer $100 band handler, professional handler, Mike Van Kempen, who has joined our team this coming season, 2022 season, and he's going to be a handler for our Pioneer $100 league. Mike, question for you. We're going to introduce you to everybody, and we're going to ask you some questions because not everybody knows who you are. So why don't we just start with the easy stuff? How long have you been racing pigeons, first of all, and how did you get started?
Well, my dad started 1968. I was 5 years old. And I've been in it ever since. So if I want to age myself, I'm 58 today. So.
We've had pigeons almost longer than most.
Yeah,
long time.
Now, have you always flown in, like, what area have you flown in? Have you always flown in the kind of where you're at now? Where are you located?
Yes.
Where is the loft located?
I'm in north of Newmarket by Lake Simcoe in Keswick. I've been there for 22 years. And then I flew at my dad's location in Queensville since I was a kid till I moved out.
But the general
So
same
two
area.
spots.
Yeah.
Yep, same area.
Same
my
general
dad's
area.
farm was 10 miles south.
So same area. And then for people wondering, he's about 17 to 22 miles dead north of us. Pretty much straight north.
Yeah.
He's right at the bottom of the water of Lake Simcoe.
Now, Mike, what are some of your, I mean, I know you've had many wins, but what are some of your major accomplishments in your racing career? Just so we can kind of give people an idea of your experience and what you've accomplished.
Geez, that's kind of a tough question because there has been quite a few, actually. I remember one year, the first year I flew with my dad, and then he was like, "Son, you think you're so good, you go fly on your own." And I flew in the Lake Simcoe Combine back then. My first year flying, there was about 45 members in that combine. And I won 6 of the 8 combines. third once, and my worst position that year was 16th. Just had a firecracker season, and that's one you just seem to never forget them ones.
No, that's a crazy season.
Once in a while,
Boy, why did you have such a bad season with that third and then
Yeah,
16th?
what
You
the
really
hell?
crapped the bed those 2
I
weekends.
think I must have been partying or something.
Partying. And what do you prefer? I got a question, Mike. In racing, what do you prefer? Young birds or old birds, or long distance or short
To
distance?
tell you the truth, I like them both, and I like long distance, short distance. I just love flying pigeons. Any race, let me go. I love it.
Yeah, you are at almost all the races around, flying, participating.
Yes, I try and get in everything
and
if I can.
I will say, you have to admit, you are pretty much always in the top 5 to 7 lofts. Would you not say?
My
Sorry.
goal has always been top. If I can get top 10, is what my goal is.
Goal.
You know, every year, sometimes you don't reach that,
But you're
That's-
pretty consistent every year.
I'm usually up there somewhere.
You're always in the top. I would say Mike is always in the top 5 lofts per year, and he's either winning a combine, or if he doesn't win the combine, he's second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. The next 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. The next week he wins one. Then you drop down to 10th to 15th.
Well,
then you're back up
That's
again.
kind of always been my theory too. Is if I can win one combine a year,
Right.
then I've already won my fair share.
Right. And you're still very competitive all the way through, which
Yes.
is good.
Oh yeah, I like to be competitive. I don't like when you get them weeks where you're,
Blown
an
out.
hour behind, or you go, oh, what the hell happened?
Wow.
But if you're right in there,
Speaking of competing, I know for our Pioneer Gold Band race, I believe, Mike, did you win? Which race did he won one of the races? Was it the second one of the series,
Yeah,
or the
yeah, it
first?
was
The second
the
one.
first one.
What was the
Engelhard.
first one?
It was the
was
first one. I
Engelhard.
Yeah, you won the first one, Engelhard. That was a killer headwind
Yeah,
day.
I came out.
Thanks, Mike.
going.
You really, I was on fire, and you just seemed to get one ahead of me, but that's okay. That was a good race. Tough headwind. He had him charged right up good for that. Ricky was close on that one as well. All 3 of us were right there, but I think you beat us by 5 meters, 5 yards. It was real close. But and again, he's on the shorter end. We were on the longer end, but
So what?
Neck and neck,
Mike
the whole way.
just nipped me.
nipped us, both of us.
Did
Just it beat us. I think it was
But-
5 yards or 5 meters.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
can't
going to
remember what it was.
get to the
Yeah.
comments here just quickly. Mike Vanderyak says, I flew against Mike every week, old birds and young birds, from 1997 to 2017. One of the lofts to beat every week. Top competitor. Well, thanks for that, Mike Vanderyak. Jason
Yes.
Halix in the house and says, hello. Speaking of winning and training, Mike, what is your training philosophy or training program? Are you a tough trainer? Are you an easy trainer? Do you train 7 days a week? Are you more like every other day? Why don't you give the people out there kind of an idea of how you train?
For your young birds.
For my young birds, I kind of I've experimented with everything. I've done the tough training, the easy training, and I'm down to the point now where I'm probably tough at the beginning. When I start my birds off, I'm training every day, maybe 2-3 times a day.
Huh.
And when I first start out at the short distance, I train around my loft 1 mile, 1 mile. I go 8-9 times a day. I train them, go home, put them in the basket, take them back. I do that 8 times
In the day.
in the day.
In the day.
And what I try and instill in them is that when you're going down the road, you're coming home.
So, and you do that with the young birds. How many days of this 8-day training, or 8 times in a day?
Usually the first week of when I start training,
Wow.
I do it
Every day.
every day for the whole week.
Whole week.
And
No,
depending on the weather.
Depending on and how far.
Now,
Just a mile.
sometimes I wonder if I'm crazy, but I think
No.
it teaches these young birds a big lesson at the beginning.
And is it on the line, or is it in?
No, all directions around.
All
Like
directions.
only very short though, like a mile, 2 miles.
Okay.
Boom, that way 4 or 5 times. Then I go east, then I go west. and then it'll be at night. So the sun, people will say, "Oh, well, the sun's here, the sun's there."
Bullshit.
So you
Yep.
take them 4 times this way,
Yeah.
and it does throw them a bit.
Sure it
When
does.
you go that way,
Well, they got to get used to it.
the first time all of a sudden they're like 6 minutes to come home, but they soon poof.
Now, can I ask Mike a question? How do you know when you start to train? When do you start to train? How do you know it?
Well, when the first race is beginning of August,
Yeah.
I usually start middle of July. I like to start.
Middle of
but
July.
Is there any sign that you see?
Well, I
with
like
your
to
bird?
see I like to know that they've been rambling,
Yeah,
like leaving the loft.
yeah, leaving a
But
lot.
sometimes if they don't, you can still go them short distances. But
Yeah.
that actually gets them rambling if they haven't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right.
Um,
So because of my darkening system, I'm doing my training at night
With the young birds.
with the young birds.
And you're darkening. So for guys that are wondering if you're being a handler this year, you're going to darken those birds.
Yeah.
So they're going to be on a darkening system. And what you hear is right from the word go. You've heard people like myself, Ricky, Mike Vandriak. He's at the top. He does different training methods. You hear it. He trains right off the start. He goes sometimes 5 to 8 times in a day for a week, around that clock training in the evening time. But what's great about Mike is at the end of the day, he gets the results. He gets the results, and that's excellent.
Well,
Yeah,
I think with young birds you have to
work
a lot of short at the beginning. A lot of people, I believe, jump them too much. Keep them short. Keep them toned into that coop,
yeah.
right.
and don't jump them. Don't do that big 10-mile toss or that big 20-mile jump.
Don't.
I believe keep it short until they learn, and then you can give them that jump.
So how are they for trapping then? If let's say you toss them 6 times a day, you've got them pretty well dialed in. So when they
when I first trained, first time, the day before, I don't feed them.
You don't feed them, right? That's right.
And then when they come home, then 6, 7 times, it's only like 1 little cup.
Yeah,
Just
Enough
a
to
teaser.
get them in,
Just a teaser.
and then go. And then after about the 6th time, then they start to
Really get it.
They don't want to.
Yeah.
But then they all of a sudden
Focus.
they don't come in anymore. They're like they want to go and play, fly around.
okay,
They don't come home as quick
Now,
once they get a full belly.
right. So, interesting. A little different than the way we do it, but still a different way of baking a cake, but very good results. Leah, did you have a question?
I'm just going to get quickly here to the comments. Mike Vandriak again says 56 tosses in 1 week. Wow, now that is sharpening the pencil. And that's why you see Loft Manager Mike up at the top every single week. We know when we race against him, he's one that we watch, right, Ryan? We're always like, oh God, I wonder how he did. We're always, he's always in our mind as someone that we got to beat. And guys
Well, I
and
think
girls,
when you're
just 1 second. If you guys are watching and you are interested in learning about Mike, if you have questions for Mike and his handling or how he trains or what his program is, now's the time to ask. If you're interested in putting birds in his loft, a reminder to everybody, it's $225 a perch to put gold band $100 bands in with Loft Manager Mike, $225, so a little bit cheaper than Loft Manager Richard or Loft Manager Ryan. So just keep that in mind. Now's the time. If you have questions, ask Mike. I have a question for you, Mike. Feeding and health program. What are you feeding your youngsters, your race team?
Well, when I'm first weaning my birds, and I put them on the dark right away, I'm feeding them like a molting mix right off the bat. Small seeds,
High protein and fat.
high protein, just get them through that mold.
Mhm.
And I've given them a little bit of stuff for the mold, like Sudoku, and
Okay.
mostly it's apple cider vinegar, some garlic juice, and electrolytes. They get that every day in the water,
Okay.
and that I think knocks the bit of bugs out of them.
All right. Now you're treating for any canker, coxy.
I don't treat for anything.
Don't
It's
treat for
all natural. I don't if a little something's fighting them, I let them fight it. Knock on wood. With the way I've been doing it, I've had good luck.
So your philosophy is more to build up a natural immunity in the loft. If they do
Natural
get
immunity.
okay. So Mike Vanderyak, I know that's kind of right up your alley because I know you're kind of an au naturel kind of guy. He also would like to know, Mike, do you feed turkey pellets?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Okay.
They get the turkey pellets once or twice a week. I used to feed it more often, but the last I'd say 4 or 5 years I've cut back and been on it.
And what do you see as the value in the turkey pellets? What have you seen the benefits of giving them the turkey pellets? What does it do for them?
Well, the pellets is it's a formulated feed for really turkeys, but it's got everything in it, everything that a pigeon needs, any type of bird really. Everything is in there, vitamins, everything they need to grow. Like I do give my stock birds when they're growing the young, that's when they get the turkey pellets the most.
So you're using it more in breeding.
In the breeding end, like there's a galley pot in each nest box in the corner filled with turkey feed all the time, full choice.
Now,
I want them young coming out of the nest just beautiful.
What about vaccinating?
No, I'm like
You're not
anti-vaxxer.
He's not the vaccine kind of guy.
Okay.
Yes, I do not really believe. I had an old vet that was that we had for the turkeys, and he kind of told me, and this is a long time ago, and it's always stuck in my head not to do it.
So you see, guys, a little bit different way of baking a cake. A little bit more natural. We use a few of the products. I know we were talking before the show.
Go ahead,
Leah.
I was just going to say, and this is a great thing about this series coming up in 2022, is you're now going to see 3 totally different ways that loft managers handle the pigeons. Loft manager Richard has a different way from loft manager Ryan, and now we hear that loft manager Mike has a kind of not completely different way, but as far as medication and vaccination and his health program, it's a little bit different. So, and we're going to follow along the journey of you 3 and how you guys make out with the 3, and now it gives you guys 3 different options, right? Of where you want to put your birds.
The other thing is when we started this Pioneer Band Race series and we wanted to have handlers. I know Richard here, he's going to go out and give his very, very best. He's going to try his best, and no matter if he's got 10 birds left or he's got 200 left, he's going to go out there every day and give it his best. I'm the same way. Why did we ask Mike? Because I know it's same as in Mike. Mike is going to fly hell or high water. He's going to put the birds to the test. He's going to be honest and give his very best. And I look forward to flying against Mike every year. He's at the top. And we had to invite Mike into this. He was hand selected. He's going to be there at the top this year. And if he's not, he's going to try his best, and you'll be damn close.
Oh, yeah. I'm planning on it.
But I would, if it was me, guys, I would put birds in his loft, and I'm going to be putting some birds in his loft.
Yeah, I think the flying bitches are going to be putting some in there too. But Tracy has a great idea. She says I may have to do one in each loft. And that's a great way to see how your pigeons do with 3 totally different handlers and 3 totally different ways of training and feeding and health program, and see who your pigeons excel the best with. Okay, I'm going to get some questions because we have some questions here. Back to the turkey pellets. Stan the Man on YouTube, I see you, and I will get to your question in a second. Just going to head over here to Facebook. Mike Vanderyak, back on the turkey pellets. Are the turkey pellets a complete diet for the turkeys from hatch to market? And then Dominic Zarlinga has a question about the turkey pellets as well. Are not the turkey pellets medicated? Okay, so first question, is it a complete diet for the turkeys from hatch to market? Mike?
No, it's like 5 different feeds. It'll start out a high protein, 26%. And then every couple of weeks, it drops down a few, right down to 14%. So it's
Okay.
about 6 different rations, and I picked it's either the 18 or the 16% I give for the pigeons. The higher protein, I don't think is that good for them.
And are the
Okay.
turkey pellets medicated? Is there any type of
No,
medication in there? No.
no, just a lot of like natural products put in.
And also a fun fact for those of you who don't know Mike. Mike, what do you do for a living?
Or what did you do?
I'm a turkey farmer.
He's
Yeah,
a
turkey
Okay.
farmer, and now
So
I'm raising ducks. I do ducks too.
ducks. Okay, so Mike, it was a turkey farmer. Now he's doing ducks, so he is very familiar with winged animals, whether it's pigeons or turkeys or ducks. You've been around them your whole life. You can, you have a good feel for them. So just to let everybody know that. David Tracy, do you make your own grit or do you use a commercial grit?
No, I usually use a commercial grit,
You use what? The Versalaga grit.
Versalaga or the natural grits.
Right. But I mean, those are about the top ones. That Versalaga stuff's real good. So we use that. I think I've seen that at your place.
Yeah,
I was snooping around. I was looking. I said, "Oh yeah, Mike uses that too." Good. Every time I go into a guy's loft, I'm just like this. Eyes are peeled.
No, but that is nice grit. The Versalaga or the Redstone, I find in the winter, I don't know why, but in the winter they'll eat that red grit.
The red grit.
Like crazy, my birds. But in the summer, they don't seem to want to touch that stuff.
Huh, I never noticed. You're only using the all-in-one, but.
Stan the Man over on YouTube, nice to see that you caught us. I know you missed us the last couple of weeks, so nice to see you on. Stan has a question. So how do I get all my pairs to lay eggs all at the same time? And how do I get my birds to Canada? So Ryan, you can answer the Canadian part, and maybe loft manager Mike or Richard wants to help Stan out with how do I get my pairs to lay eggs all at the same time?
Mike, you want it or Ricky? Well, let's hear your answer, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I think when it comes to the birds all laying at the same time, and this all depends when you're mating. If you put the lights on your hens, usually a week. Sometimes I think over a week it's too soon. The hens want to lay before you even mate them. So you have to, usually 7 days, I think you got to put the lights on, get them. And that's more when you're breeding in January, February.
Right. And to get them down all together, I mean, if you're breeding early, you need the lights. 7, 10, 14 days, put the lights on. But if you're going to start mixing and matching pairs, I normally think you should pre-pair your birds up in the off season, get your pairs mated and how you want. Then you separate. So when you put your birds into that section, the lights are on. They know their boxes. You let the hens and the cocks go, and it's romance, and let the music play. If you're in there constantly grabbing that bird and switching them around, and you're in a bad mood, the pairs aren't mating up, you're going to get the pair in the top pair up. You're going to get the pair in the corner that you forced together that hate each other. Yeah. They'll never lay all year. So you sort of got to, and I think pairing birds, you got to look at your pairs, how you're pairing. I know Dean Pallett. I go back to Dean. He said some of the best ways to pair pigeons is love pair. Let the hens pick the cocks, but you have to be somebody that's okay with that.
Yeah. Observation is a big thing too, but if the birds are in good health, there should be no excuse. They should mate and lay eggs.
Within a few days.
Now, if I put 20 pair together, right, I may get about 3 pair that are a little bit late. They're, everybody's down on eggs except for 3 pair, and there could be a few days or 5 days.
I think in anybody's loft there is that percentage that just are going to be a little behind.
There's no such thing as perfection.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully that helps you out a little bit, Stan.
Stan, hopefully that helps. If you have any more questions, you know what to do. Put them in the comments section. If anybody else has questions, please let us know. Sitting at that bar there, we've got combined, 150 years experience. So if it's not one loft,
a little bit of wheat germ oil on the feed, that helps too.
There we go. Perfect. I got a cough, Ryan, so you ask a question.
You had a question, Ricky?
Now, how much ventilation do you have in your loft, Mike?
Mike, what are you using for ventilation? Because you darken. I think you were saying something that you use the screens. You use the blinds in front of your windows.
Yeah, no, I put wood.
Oh, wood.
Yeah, I slide wood in front of my windows.
Right.
And I have two exhaust fans.
Yeah.
That to suck the air out.
Right.
Two at the bottom of my loft. I have two air vents where it comes in.
In the front, and then goes out through the top.
And then it goes up. And there's only two. They're only like 2 by 2 squares. Two of them in the loft's 24 feet long.
Then you have that drop ceiling in there. Yeah, that's right. So
the drop ceiling with slats?
No, it's all wood.
No, it's all wood.
It's got a solid ceiling, and he's got two exhaust vents. They're square. They're 2 by 2.
Like a
halfway.
20-inch box fan. Sit on it.
Yeah.
And I put it on low speed.
It sucks all the dust. And
mostly when they're on the dart.
Yeah.
I'll have them fans going.
If it's a little bit warm, takes that heat out.
Yeah. Once the boards are off, they're out of the dart, the fans are turned off. And it's just
okay. And why do you turn them off?
I find when too much air movement
no good.
Is no good.
Draft.
Well, not really a draft, but I believe the pigeons. I don't know if it's just me. I think their form doesn't come on when them fans are going.
So when Mike,
I think just the natural, like the chimney effect.
Yeah, just
of
naturally,
the attic drawing the air up.
Right. So once Mike pulls the birds off the dark, those exhaust fans, the two that he has, they're no longer on, and the loft just breathes naturally through the front windows and up through the ceiling.
And then that's when I changed my whole feeding system. So I know just when the bird that comes off, like when the first race starts, everything's geared to getting them birds
to go.
The form, everything you want to hope comes when the first race starts.
Now, is your loft open all the way around, or open on one side? How do you have your ventilation? Is your loft facing north, south?
South.
South.
You get lots of sun.
And you got one side wide open?
Yeah, like I got the windows 2 feet.
Yeah.
Like the loft is 6 feet high, but there's 2 feet, the length of the loft.
Right across.
Open.
Yeah. And it's all open.
Well, there's windows that I can slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. To darken or lighten or whatever he's doing.
Now, do you do a lot of cleaning in the loft?
Every day.
Do you?
Well, that's a question I had. Are you a scraper, a dry litterer, or what do you call it? Granules?
I scrape every day, and I have slats on my floor.
Okay.
And the slats, once a week, I pick them up and clean, usually on a Tuesday.
So, question for you. With the birds you're going to take for the gold band, are you going to scrape the floor? Or I know you were talking granules. I use the granules. Ricky uses the granules or the dry litter. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think this past year, when I did the Pioneers for you guys, I tried the granulars.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do that with them too.
With them. So Mike's going to more than likely be using the granules as well.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it's good. You still clean the perches, the box perches, the nest perches.
Will still get cleaned. Yeah.
Cleaned, yeah. Now another question: do you separate the young hens from the young cocks when you're flying, or do you leave them together?
Just leave them.
Leave them together. He's got a happy loft the whole season.
Let them work on that themselves.
Yeah.
So guys who followed along with Loft Manager Ryan with us this year, you'll know that Ryan did separate them there at the end. I think what was it, the last, I don't know, 5 weeks? I can't remember. Anyway, he is a separator, but Mike is not. Now, Richard, will you be separating?
No,
Did you separate? Did you separate this year or no?
No, I didn't separate anyone, and I believe those young birds, it's mostly like a puppy love, and
well, yeah, that's my question for you guys. So, Ryan,
well, I'm going to add to that. I'll never say never, because I just, it might be one of those I've always been thinking about.
Well, I can still remember my first girlfriend when I was 16 years old. And
oh boy, here we go.
Kind of still hurts me. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But so when those puppy lovers they're together, and you separate them, they get hurt. But the next thing, those cocks will shack up real quick.
I'm almost
somebody else.
I'm almost in the belief if those babies aren't hatched out and you're in your loft by the first week of or second week of June or January, there's no point in separating them when they like the birds we're going to take in this year. We're taking them in April, the last week of April to the first week of May. Those birds aren't going to be old enough to even sexually motivate. The hens will be a little bit. The cocks will play around. I'm not going to separate this year. I don't think at all. I don't think this year it did anything. Last year, a little bit. I'm not a big fan with it.
I think if you're early breeding, then yeah, you can.
But you got to be real early. Yeah.
But me, myself, I had my first girlfriend when I was 10 years old.
Okay, we got lots of questions. Well, lots of questions. Henry, nice to see you on, friend. Okay, Mike Vandriak has a question. Think about your ventilating there. How does the air vent from the space above the ceiling to the outside? And then we have more questions, so go ahead, Mike.
Mine, it's open at the ridge, and it's also open at each end, at the bottom of the peaks.
So she goes up and sucks. She can go up and suck out.
So your loft is on a 40. Your roof is a 45.
Yeah, it goes up 4 feet.
Yeah.
And then 8 feet.
Yeah. So he's got a peak in there.
The peak is kind of right above my vents.
Right.
So she's sucking up. He's got a false ceiling in there. So you know what hot air does do. She rises.
Now for your young birds, if you don't mind me asking a question. Say you don't mind.
No, I don't. Okay.
Do you flag them at all?
Yes, I do.
You do? At first or all the time?
No, at first, when I'm on the darkening,
yeah,
they go outside and I lock them out.
Okay. Right.
And they're locked out for 4 hours.
Right. In when? May?
When he starts letting them out.
Yeah, right, from when they're babies.
Yeah, like May.
May right up until probably July.
So if I lock mine out in April, the end of April, if we got hawk problems around here, then I'm in.
Well, you're bringing that into it. We're asking him what he's doing. Why are you going to bring what you're doing?
The flag don't start until when the training starts. I'll train, and then I'll also loft fly.
Okay.
And I slowly, the flag will go up. They got to fly 15 minutes.
You slowly
every day, and then every day, and I'm usually up to an hour.
Up to an hour.
And then once they learn on that flag, I put it.
You don't need it. Oh, you just.
I can put it away, and then birds just know.
Yeah, you built the gears up in them, so they go.
Also, to me, some people say they don't loft fly, but to me, loft flying can give you an indication of where your birds are at. Whether you have to, train them maybe 50 miles instead of 30. You can get an indication of what they need.
Yeah. So I know that there's guys once they start road training, they never loft fly. Do you loft fly in road training?
Yes.
You do. And you do that the whole season.
Yeah.
So you guys wondering, he's a loft flyer daily and a trainer to what he thinks they need. So you're gonna get both the best worlds here with Mike. He's not a guy that just takes them down the road and pounds them and doesn't
I
loft
think
fly.
what Mike said was clear. He watches how his birds fly.
I think if you observe them in the air, they will tell you if they're ready to go on a training test, or if maybe you just leave them home and loft fly them.
Yeah, you see them how they're flying.
So it's more a judgment call than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the questions because we've got quite a few. If you guys have just joined us, thanks for tuning in. We are live with Pioneer $100 professional handler Mike Van Kempen in the house to answer all of your questions. You guys get to interview him. Now is the time. Do you want to hire him as to be your professional handler for the 2022 season?
Bring him on. We're going to win her.
There we go. Ask your questions in the comments. I'm going to get to the comments here. Daniel Hartman, nice to see you on. He says, I missed the racing, but very happy for the great show. Howdy from Norco, California. Thank you very much for that, Daniel. Daniel, he's asking, what temperature do you try to keep the lofts at during the colder winter season? And I'm going to put that along with Carl Gavin's question of, do you ever use heaters in the loft in the colder weather in September? So guys?
For me, no. I have windows on mine, which in the colder weather, I'll close the windows to kind of keep at night.
Okay.
But only in the evening because the loft is already heated up, and then you just, instead of losing that heat, you want to kind of keep it but just whatever the weather is.
Yeah. Same.
No heat added.
No, he's talking even for the winter here in Canada. It's
We're talking September.
Well, no, but the other gentleman also asked about how do you keep your loft warm in the winter? We don't.
Yeah, no.
It's
Now I
always
wonder
put a heavy
if
jacket
Carl
on.
is Carl asking like in September because we're still racing
Yeah.
and because the temperatures drop that maybe he thinks it affects their like the muscle and the whole because they like it warm, right? I think is that
yeah,
why he's asking?
yeah. And this year, as you guys see, if you watch our show, you see my windows were closed all summer. Do you notice that, Leah?
Yes.
The windows were closed. The loft breathes
Yeah.
good. I'm trying to keep as much heat in all day long. This year, I'm going to add, I've got some special heaters coming into the loft that I'm putting in, and I'll have those running. I'll have those kick on and run through the evening. I'll heat it through the floor.
Now this
I'm
is
gonna
a new
new
technique
thing I'm going to
we're gonna try.
Right. We're going to try because I did think, we did have a few races there that cooled down quite a bit, but you'd always see in my loft, the windows were always shut. And the beautiful part was my loft breathes so good, I can have the windows shut to keep the super heat in.
There is I've heard of this heating the loft floor.
Yeah. Heating the loft floor. Yeah, I'm going to do it this year. And I'm going to heat them right through the granules.
That is a new thing in like the poultry industry now too.
Yeah.
It's they heat the floor.
Well, I went down to Spring Hill there and I triple
AAA loft. Yeah, AAA loft.
loft.
And just a reminder for people, after this, if you want to check out the loft tour that Ryan did at AAA Loft, and you can see exactly what Ryan's talking about the heated floor and what he uses, head over to our YouTube channel under our Loft Tours playlist, and you will see it there. Sorry to interrupt, Ryan, but what does AAA Loft, what do they have on their floors? And keep in mind, guys, they're in Florida.
Every loft I went to in Florida, and I went to the very best ones, they all had wire floors.
Right.
But when I went to AAA, he had the heat mats down. Okay. This was like 95-degree humidity, Mike. Okay. Picture this.
Yeah.
You know, us Canadians, we burn there in about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. The heat was drenching off of me. Go in the man's loft.
Birds are probably laying on.
Hold on, Mike. The floors were plywood floors.
Yeah.
They had that much granules on the floors. He had his heat mats on the floors. The pigeons, they looked like they were at the beach. They were laying out. Now, remind you, it was hot.
Yeah.
Do you want to know the difference between inside the loft and outside was with those heat mats on? There was no humidity in the loft. The heat from those mats got rid of the humidity in the loft.
And that's a big problem in Florida.
It was
humidity.
It was the humidity. It was nice, but the birds loved it.
Yeah.
And you could feel the difference. But he had those granules, one of the only lofts. And he said to me, Ryan, and I was learning about the granules. Don't make the mistake I made. I said, hell with buying granules. I'm going to try kitty litter.
Right.
He said within 2 weeks, kitty litter.
He said
Kitty litter, because he saved, cheaper.
Yeah,
kitty litter you buy cheap.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks in the loft, you have to get rid of it. He said the birds come down with the worst respiratory because it's a man-made product. And these granules, as we talk about, they fight coccidiosis. It's a natural product. It's volcanic ash. The birds can eat it. Like you said, you can feed on it. It's great. And the birds love it. And the loft is bone dry. Dry loft, healthy pigeons.
Now,
here's maybe
Daniel,
a little tidbit, I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike, and then Daniel has a comment.
When he talks about humidity in the loft,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy them little relative humidity things.
Yeah.
55% or under is what you want it at.
Your loft should be under 55%.
55%
or lower.
Or
lower.
And what
if
is
it's
it called?
too high, then it's humidity.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, it's
takes humidity out of the air. The humidity.
No, it's just a little sensor thing.
Oh, so it's like a thermometer for humidity.
For humidity.
We'll have to get one of those, Leah.
Well, I find with the Twisted Sister, I've had
This is just
great
something I
results.
learned through the turkey industry.
I got a 10-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
What, I have a drop ceiling in there with Laddie.
I know, I built it for you.
Plus I got a whirlybird up there on the roof, which constantly with the wind takes out.
Yeah.
I've even had birds land on that, and as it goes around, they just kind of go around. But I'm saying I've had up there, I've had great success with health. It's up, what, 15 feet?
It's bone dry.
Off the ground.
Yeah.
Bone dry.
And I'll tell you, you go up there and if you darken them the basket, you can't basket the birds. You just come out just soaked. She's hotter than the pistol. But
so that leads to Daniel Herman's question. Now, keep in mind, he's from California, so he's asking, what temperature is the best to keep your loft at? He says 65 Fahrenheit. Now, I mean, we're in Canada, and I'm sure you know, Daniel, it gets very cold here in the wintertime. So our birds do not stay at a constant temperature at all. It's extremes
more
here.
or less whatever the weather is outside is what the temperature kind of is.
Yeah.
More or less.
I had that loft there this year. I had the odd day it was at 100. I had the 100 with the windows shut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and she was holding the heat, and it was. I mean, the birds went out for a loft fly. It was like they went into air conditioning.
I remember that heat. I'd have to go up and feed my birds and sit in the chair there. I had to drink 2 cold beers before I could come out.
You know, fun fact, I went to Derek Schleifer, you know him, good flyer. I went to his loft to deliver him a bird one time. And he built this loft with all plastic. Plexiglass, okay?
Right.
Mike, you couldn't believe it. I was going into the greenhouse. She was that hot. And it was like just a regular day in September. You know, you had like your t-shirt on, shorts. It wasn't hot. Yeah. You went in that loft, and he said it's the heat that builds the super form. Well, I heard it so many times.
And the loft still felt like
when
you go to
bone dry, good, because the air was good through it. And another thing,
that's to me is a ticket.
You know the thrones that pigeons sit on. Some people put them sometimes in the cocks boxes. They put a brick or they put a block of wood, and the cocks will go sit on it. You take a guy like Paul McAloney. He's got an insulated heated block for each cockbird. So when they're standing in their box,
where they are though, they get a lot of damage.
The heat goes right through the foot.
I always like to have
up and into the body.
My
so
pigeons,
feet are warm, body's warm.
Yeah. My pigeons, I like to have them sitting on a block of wood.
Yeah.
I don't like to put a brick down or anything like that. Or sitting on a chunk of dry litter. It's the best thing for it. You get what I'm saying? A chunk
of dry litter. You're really on this dry litter kick.
We're gonna talk all about dry litter on next week's show. I think we're gonna like dedicate the whole show to dry litter. I got lots of questions here, guys. So if I could just get to the questions.
Okay.
A quick question from Henry, and then Rita's been waiting on a question about vaccination. Henry is asking, Mike, how many times a week would you road train?
Before the season.
Well, before the season, I'm out there every day.
So 30, 40 times.
I'm up to Grave, like this year, for instance, before the first race, I was in Gravenhurst 10 times in a row.
10 times in Gravenhurst to you is how far?
Before the first race, about 50 miles.
50 miles.
And the other thing too is if you don't mind me asking this question.
No, don't mind.
Your lake is a problem for you, kind of. Because you got to fly kind of along the lake to get to your place, or how do they do it?
Yeah, you know, Ryan,
drive.
you should text me his address, and I'll look it up on Google Earth and show everybody what his where he is in relation to the lake.
Here I can give you an example of what I do. I have to drive from my place. I go to Friday Harbor. If you look it up on the map, you'll see where Friday Harbor is. Takes me an hour and 15 minutes to drive to Friday Harbor. Mm-hmm. The pigeons are home in 12 minutes.
It takes you an hour to get there.
Now, it takes me an hour and 15 minutes to get there.
Lita,
wow.
Do you mind if I let Mike give his address out, and you can just listen and maybe put it up and we can see?
Oh, it's up to him if he wants to put it
Mike,
up.
Mike, what's your address?
503 Varney Road.
503 Varney Road.
Varney. Okay, I'm going to look it up in the meantime.
But that's just an indication of what the lake kind of throws at me. Yeah. And I believe for me to do good, I have to get them coming over. So I have to do that
bullshit trip.
Right.
But from that part in the lake.
We're going to see it up here in a second. Leah's going to pull it up. So just let
Yeah,
Leah look into this.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Right
I'm gonna while
Yeah,
I'm looking
the
it up.
first couple of times they don't, but then they figure it out.
Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, while I look up where Mike's loft
The first time, whenever I train across the lake, the very first time, my young birds take an hour and a half to 2 hours before they come home.
Hop over that Varley, whatever.
When I go to the other side of the lake, in the still.
Yeah. And then once you got them coming, it's 12 minutes.
Once they come, then they go.
Yeah.
They need that first time. I swear they fly. They're afraid to go across.
They're going back and forth. Yeah.
Now I have done the boat, and I know there's few guys, and I do believe that the boat is. Like I bought a boat this year to take them out on the lake.
Did you say it was 508?
That's crazy. 503.
Oh, 503, Barney.
That's how crazy Pigeon guys we are.
You were doing it by
you
were doing it by canoe.
No, I see.
Yeah.
Listen. When I first seen him doing it, right? He had a paddle boat. He was paddling. You know how screwed up it looks with one person in a paddle boat?
Yeah.
You had to put an empty big bag of feed there to level out the boat.
That's right.
But
at first he was swimming across with a basket on his back.
Yeah, except the birds got too wet. Leah, did you have a question, Leah?
Yeah, Rita has a question, and I'm still getting Google Earth to behave here. Asking about vaccination. Question reverting back to vaccination. What if folks vaccinate their young birds before they enter your loft? Is that detrimental if they would need a booster in 3 weeks? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, just 1 second. Ryan lost audio. Just let them get the audio hooked back up. Guys, if you have questions, put them in the comments. We are live talking to Loft Manager Mike Van Kempen, one of our 2022 professional $100 band handlers. Ryan, you're there. I hear you, I think.
Yes, we're back. Sometimes this screen craps out. So the question was for you, Mike. If people are going to send you birds and they vaccinate at their place, is it a big deal for you? Is it bothering you? Do you think it's going to screw anything up? I don't think so.
No. There's people who will do it and some that won't. So, and I don't. It doesn't bother me one bit.
Either or, guys. Do what you want. Same with me.
I'm just not a kind of believer in it. You know, some of these one loft, like to me, when you do the one loft races or whatever, to me, it's up to the one loft people to do it. If I'm sending a bird and I don't vaccinate it, it's up to them if they want to do it or not up to me.
And
you have good results in your own loft without vaccinating.
Yes.
Right. Because your birds have their own immunity. Probably you don't introduce a lot of birds.
Oh, he's introducing here and there. He's hitting the odd one here and there. You know that, Ricky. So hopefully
and
that
I don't,
answers.
You know, some people say when you bring in a bird, what do you do? Like, do you keep it separate or
that's a good question. What do you do?
I throw them right in.
Get in the fire.
With the other birds, and they're going to make it, they make it. If not, but most times I've never had a problem.
Okay, so I think I've got you up here now.
We're going to see where Mike lives. Mike, we're going to creep in on you here now and show you.
We're feeling, we're like creeping here. There you are.
We're going to have visitors.
Here we go. Let's see. Let's have a look. Okay, guys, so.
Whoa.
Okay, so these are our race station lines, okay? I know I just left them up here just to give you guys an idea. So, Henry, this is where you are, by the way. But this is where Mike is here, 503 Varney Road. I'm just going to zoom out here. Let me get this bloody banner off so you guys can see what the heck we're looking at.
No, that's the wrong Varney Road.
No.
No, it's upside down.
Oh, we're going, the map's upside down.
The Pioneer's here. We're going from north to south, okay?
Right.
So this is where he is.
See all those lines go right over Lake Simcoe.
And Leah, can you go closer to Mike's loft?
Yeah.
And you see, back up a bit, back up. Just a little bit. Take a look. So, Mike, you train right down here where it says Big Bay Point. That little hunk of green is, Leah. Bring your cursor down.
Harbor is.
Bring your cursor down right where Leah's cursor is right there. No. No.
Where is
Go
it?
just
I
Up,
don't see
up
it.
into the crack. Up into the crack.
Here?
Across
No. Go to up.
There
Just
you
take your
go,
cursor
yeah.
up.
Yeah, right
Cursor up. Bring it up a little bit. The other way. Towards Pioneer Loft.
All right, thank you. Well, you got to tell me. No, oh, right there, Big Bay Point.
There you go.
Yeah,
Here.
Big Point.
Okay, thank
and
you.
that right there, if you see where Mike lives, that little red dot,
he's got to drive
all the way here. It takes you an hour and how long?
15 minutes.
15. And when the birds get on point, how long does that take them to cross
12 minutes, they can be home.
12 minutes. So that's the type of dedication.
It's about 10 miles, like, I think, air miles.
But you drive in an hour. That's the dedication he has to get the bird to cross the water.
And usually the day of the race, like if the race is Saturday, the first short races, I'll go there Friday.
Right. So you see it right
we'll
there.
Just zoom in here if you don't mind, Mike. We'll see if this thing cooperates. So we could just get a little bit of an aerial view maybe. Let's see. We'll go 3D and then we'll go this way. And let's see if we can zoom in here. So hopefully I'm not making you guys sick.
Yeah, look, there's your loft.
We got to drive all the way over there.
Look, there's your house. Look, there's your one loft right there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Unbelievable, Mike.
So now we can it's like we're spying. Look, I can get right up close. I can see what you were having for breakfast that day.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
But
I'm
you see
assuming this is a loft here, yes?
Yeah.
That's my loft right there.
Now is this going to be the loft where you're going to be taking the $100 bands?
No, actually, I got another farm.
Okay.
Where these birds are gonna go, and that's Old Homestead, Pepper Loft.
Okay.
All right.
And I understand, Mike,
So
that you are going to let Ryan and myself come by when I know you're working on the loft right now. Your plan is to work on it over the winter, and we're going to come back and visit, I think, in the springtime once you have your renovations done. And we're going to take you guys along for a tour so you guys can check out Mike's digs, Mike's loft, and where your birds will be
20
staying.
kilometers east
of here,
of where I am now.
So
just over 12 miles.
12 miles, a little bit east.
Roughly.
So that's a good spot. Same good spot.
So you guys will get an opportunity to be able to see Mike's loft and the loft where he will be taking the $100 banded birds. Speaking of that, Mike, when are you accepting your birds?
When did you what time did you want them? You want them?
I think we were
thinking about April to May?
I think before the middle of May.
Yeah.
The middle of May is about the latest.
I think you said I think we were talking there. You said middle of March to the first week of May or something.
Yeah. Why don't I check on
the sooner you get them in?
Right.
Yeah, we put it on, but the earlier sometimes the better.
Now,
and Mike's pretty easy going.
Age requirements, Mike?
Well, I don't like to get them when they're too old. I know some people send them when to me, they're ready to fly away when they're too old.
So you like them on about 50 days is good? 40 days?
That's too old.
30 days? 40 days?
30 days.
35 days to 7 weeks.
Whoops. 35 days. So he's looking 35 to 45 days, guys. He'll take them.
To me, that's the best.
That's the best. Just once that they start eating and just starting to go up on the perch. That's when you want them. So. And you can hear us, correct, Leah?
Oh, yeah. No, I can. I wasn't sure if you were done or not. Troy said, Ryan, getting back, I think, to the heat in the loft, you're supposed to remind everybody that you have a galvanized roof. Now, that makes a difference. Why?
Heat. Steel roof creates heat. I love it. It's a free heater. I'm using Mother Nature to heat my loft. A shingle roof, you don't get the same type of heat. But that galvanized steel with the plexiglass windows on the roof,
heat radiates right through.
Yeah, it comes right through. It's like you could fry an egg on it, and
it heats you got an attic in yours?
A drop ceiling. It's not a big drop ceiling because my roof's on a slant, right? It's a 2-foot ceiling, drop ceiling.
Speaking of heat, Mike Vandiak says that he adds heat to his widowhood loft in June and July. And my question to you, Mike, is how do you add the heat to the loft? What are you using to add the heat to the loft?
A guy like Mike. That
I don't add I have no heat added.
No, we're talking
Oh.
Mike Vander. I think I've
Oh.
heard that Mike either sits in the loft with a candle, or he has a blow dryer going back and forth.
Jay-Z, nice to see you on, friend. Tracy says send the
I
drone to
think when
spy
you
on
put
Mike.
heat
Yeah,
in
make
the
it work.
loft, you.
hold on, go ahead.
Go ahead. It's okay.
I think if you're adding heat into your loft, I think you're adding problems, to my own personal opinion.
Well, hey, that's why we're going to find out.
I guess.
We'll see, Mike. We're going to see.
I don't think it's the way to do it.
Hey, Jay-Z, how are you?
Tracy says take the drone over to spy on Mike. Oh, I think when we go over for our loft tour, we might bring the drone up there, and so everybody can have a good look at the surroundings. Question from David Tracy. Do you think there is an advantage of releasing in small groups for training, or do you think it's a waste of time? I've always trained in small groups.
What do you think, Mike?
That is a good question. I've done it, and I've gotten away from not doing it, and then I've done it, and I sometimes think that's, to me, the smaller groups is the way to do it, if you have the time. A lot of times because I have my own business, and I've never had the time to really do it. The last few years, I've had a little time, and I've let them go crate by crate. But I don't know if there's an advantage or there isn't. You hear of all these young bird lofts, people losing birds nowadays with young ones.
Yeah.
So I think letting them go in little groups you might get away from that problem of losing a lot of young ones.
Yeah,
in training.
I don't know. I've done it this year in groups, and I'll tell you.
No.
You know what? You get 3 groups come good.
One doesn't.
4th group, you blow them off the map. 3 days later, you train in those small groups, everything is good. You go back 4 days later, the opposite group blows off the map. And you say to yourself,
But that's what I mean. What if you let all your birds go when you let that
but
4th group go?
But I found the problem is when you have other people's birds, you get people bitch at you saying, well, if you'd have let my birds out in the 1st group, they'd all have been here. So you sometimes think.
Well, I think this person was asking just about
training. Yeah. I agree with you there. Yeah, I think groups are good. I think if you can do it, great. I don't think you got to do every toss, but it's good to put a little bit of that into it.
And did Mike already answer? Are you a morning trainer, a midday trainer, or an evening trainer, or all the way through the day?
Whatever works for me, I take them.
So you don't believe in the
philosophy? If it's raining in the morning, I'll take them in the evening. If it's raining I'll take them in the morning.
So you're not of the belief that you must train before 10 a.m. every day because that's when the birds are let out on race day?
No, I'm not a believer in that at all.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
Mike.
I know
I was taking paging for that one.
No, I've trained 7 o'clock at night.
Thanks, Mike. Go ahead, Leah. Right. This one, Leah, take the next question. Go ahead, Mike. Good job. See?
Stan on YouTube says, what do you think about using 80% barley and 20% racing mix for the racing season?
No juice.
First of all, I don't even feed barley.
No juice.
Never fed it. Like maybe years ago, but I don't feed it.
No juice in it. A little bit here or there.
I'll feed the diet mix.
Yeah.
Baden diet mix or the
Versalaga.
Right.
And that's basically a barley, some kaffir corn.
There's
a little safflower, some performance pellets in there, and that's it. And you're not going on that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then give them good feed and raise. No, you give a little bit at the start of the week. Then boosting them back up. They gotta get the power in them to go.
Well, when they come home, they usually get the diet mix, and I feed them. When they come home, it's not. It's keep feeding them.
Keep feeding them.
And do you put anything in the water on arrival?
Electrolytes, garlic juice, apple cider vinegar, honey.
Okay. What about Boost X5? You using that?
Every day.
Every day, the Boost X5.
People say you're only supposed to do it once or twice a week. Every single day. Monday.
Ryan, do we have a jar there that we could show everybody what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Dad,
And
you
you
want
know,
to grab
people
that?
think I'm crazy. Why? Why do you do it? But, okay, if they don't need it, guess where it's going?
where's it going?
And they're dropping.
And they're
If
dropping.
they don't need it, they're not going to use it.
And do you just use the Boost X5 or do you use the Be Pure as well?
I use the Be Pure
And the Boost.
and the Boost.
So let me ask you something,
And
Mike. I probably know the answer, but some people may not know the answer. So
Can you
gonna
hold
ask you
it?
a
Hold it down, Ryan, in that
Yeah.
other camera. In the other camera, hold it down. Down.
so
right there.
you mix that and get that stick on the feed, right?
There we go.
yep.
So
What do you-
Mike's
what do you
talking
use?
about the Versalaga
Uh,
Boost X5. He's putting in the
Peanut
water
oil,
daily,
garlic oil.
Yeah.
and then you said the
You
Be
know,
Pure
there's so
as
many
well, right?
oils you can use today.
So again, what these guys are talking about here, and Leah's talking over them. Mike's using this every day with the Be Pure. He mixes the two on the feed. He uses peanut oil, hemp oil, garlic juice on the feed, soaks the feed up, and then he puts this on.
You gotta watch.
And that,
my
when,
experience.
when you first got that, and I seen it,
Yeah.
and I tried it,
Yeah.
I see the results right away.
Now this stuff's good stuff.
So
Yeah.
you mix. I'm just gonna ask you. I know how I mix it, but do you mix it? You gotta watch how much peanut oil if you're gonna use peanut oil, because birds will get the runs. I found that.
Well, you gotta watch how much you use of anything, right?
Yeah, right. So
I
when
just,
you
I don't,
mix-
you know, they used to say the garlic oil, 1 drop per pigeon. They
Squirt it right on.
yeah. So then what? You soak your put your feed with garlic oil or peanut oil.
Yeah.
Gets it wet
Or-
to suck it up.
or-
Then you put it
or-
on.
Well, you got that other oil now that I want to try, the hemp oil.
Hemp oil is very good.
Now,
And then you put that on. Put this on and let it soak for a bit. Let it dry on
Yeah, no, I mix it and then I feed it to the birds.
right away.
I don't let it dry or I just give it to them.
give it to them. That's what you're
Now,
doing.
Sometimes their
question-
beaks, you can see the
The oil.
sticking on their beaks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leah.
Question from Ant Bar Loft. Can using oil daily, can it be bad for the pigeons?
I don't think so. No.
No, I don't think it would be bad. I mean, it's like if you use, let's say, peanut oil or hemp oil, you almost don't need. You can back off using that feed because you're adding it to the other grains.
Yeah.
You're adding it to it, so you're actually adding another feed to it. To your,
Well,
if you're feeding to pure and you add hemp oil, that's like you're adding hemp seed to the feed, or to your corn or to whatever
I
mix.
think a pigeon's only going to take what it needs anyways.
Yeah, the rest are going to go through it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, they're only going to see that's another thing when I'm feeding my birds, I'm watching too. There's no measuring the feed. I feed them at the beginning of the week. I see a couple have a drink. Okay, no more feed.
You feed by eye,
Light
by
to
eye.
heavy kind of.
Light to heavy.
But it's almost, I think feeding is almost it's a bit of an art form. You can't really describe, people always ask, how do you feed? But I don't think there's really any real answer. You almost have to just watch your birds. They'll tell you what they need.
You take your time when you feed. You're slow.
Yeah.
Feed them slow.
I find the times I don't pay attention, I'm just in there and I feed them and I go.
Mhm.
Then you see something drops off. You're like, oh, you got to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Especially during racing.
And it's the same thing as Mike says, watching them fly through the week. And the same as putting the time into feeding them, watching them, see how they're eating,
Yeah.
see how they're acting, see the characters in the loft.
So how would you, if you don't mind me asking, how would you know how to watch them when they fly? Like, I mean, what are some of the signs that you would know, like
No,
notice?
that's kind of a good question because it's hard to really say. I would always say if you watch your birds, and a guy told me one time, are your birds flying backwards?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'll see them kind of do like a roller pigeon, and it's like,
Dip
oh,
and dive.
boy, they're these. Then you know they're good.
And you watch, they're up there in a kit and they're
But I could-
tucking their wings nice and they're going across the sky.
And you know,
I find during the racing season, if I see my birds, I let them out.
Yeah.
And before I get out of the loft, I can't see them. I get out, they're gone.
They're gone, yeah.
that's a good
During
sign.
the racing season, if they're not rambling, taking off,
Yeah.
like going distances away,
Yeah.
then you don't have
Right.
to help.
That's
They're
right.
staying around the loft and circling.
So
To me, that's a bad
tired,
sign.
Tired pigeon.
I want to see him move. And then all of a sudden he'll go, oh, there's somebody's training birds. Oh, they're mine.
They're mine. That's right.
And they just go right over the loft.
They look super. They're lined out. They're playing. They feel good. They're tucking the wings good. You don't let them out. You see them do 3 loops around your loft, and you look like look like they're going, hey, Mike, I'm ready to land.
I like it when they're dipping and diving.
Here's where you're going to be on the race sheet.
At the bottom. If you're doing that and they're looking like that, they want to land after 2 minutes. Like Mike said, when you go to the race results, you're going to see the next week or the week after, you'll be down at the bottom.
And you know something's wrong or something's not right.
Go ahead, Leah.
Okay, so we have a comment and a question that sort of ties together. Comment from Jay-Z. He says, I was in a one loft race yesterday. Almost 1,000 birds, 200 miles, only 56 day birds. And that goes along with Michael Peebler's question. If a bird does not have it, do you just cull it or give it another chance? So my question to you, Mike, is how do you deal with losses? How do you deal with birds that don't come home on day one? They're they're second day birds or third day birds. And what is your philosophy on if it just doesn't have it? Do you cull it or you give it another chance? How do you run your ship?
If I have birds, every bird goes right till the end. I never ever cull any birds. You know what? You just keep. I have a master sheet. I keep track, and at the end of the season, I'll look at it. But I usually let every bird they keep their perch and they go the whole season.
And if a bird comes back late from a race, 2-3 days late, you give them a week off and then bang them in.
Well, what I have is them little plastic rings. I'll put it on that bird, and if I'm training, I'll say, okay, you know what, he was late.
Hold him back.
I don't like to do special treatment on birds, but
you use a bit of common sense.
Yeah.
So that's what Mike's trying to say. What was the second part of that question, Leah?
I think that was the question. Speaking of perches, are you V perches, pole perches, stadium perches, box perches?
No,
what do you
box
use for your race team? Box
usually perch. 10 by 10, 10 by 10.
And each pigeon gets its own box?
Yeah. I usually like to have, I would say, 75%. Like if I have 100 perches, I only want to put 75 birds in.
Right. So you got normally about 25 perches more than the birds you got there. So everyone's got a nice comfy perch.
And you always do the box perches? You've always flown with that?
Yep. Well, in my one young bird loft, people might think it's crazy because I have nest perches that are 16 inches by 22 inches. And that's for one young bird.
Yeah. Big box.
Wow, that's a big box.
Huge. And I got 60 in my loft.
That's like a penthouse. Yeah. Oh, now my next question. Now you're telling us things that you've done in your loft for your birds. Now, when you're handling in this handling series for other people, you're going to be doing things the same way, correct? That you've been doing with your own race team and winning with your own race team. You're going to use those methods with
same systems.
Okay. It's not like you give your birds box perches and you're going to give who you're handling for stadium perches. Everybody gets treated equally, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, it's all the same.
And that was again another reason why we asked Mike, because I know he's going to give it his best. He doesn't want to get beat. He's not coming here to Pioneer to lose.
No.
That's right, and it's the same thing. I look and I say, Mike, we're all battling head to head. I want to kick his ass, and it goes around and around. So when you sign up to be that handler, we expect you to go out and fly the way you fly your own birds, and that's what I know this guy is capable and he's going to do. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a real fun series.
Well, these birds are going to get tested. Whoever puts them in, they're going to put along with my own. I always love to test them.
Oh, hey, it's going to be a fun series. What else you got for us, Leah?
Frank Eichhorn, do you feed once or twice a day?
Twice a day I feed.
And what do you do on shipping day? Feed or no feed?
No, well, the first few short races I've done it where I don't feed them, and I have fed them, but I'll feed usually around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and about half feed on the first few short races. When we get into anything over 150, then it's 3 o'clock, and I like to feed them like what they'll eat.
Water. Do you leave the water with them all day
Yeah,
or?
water stays.
Okay. David Tracy says that he uses hemp oil on the feed and oregano and cinnamon a couple times a week. And David, question for you: what do you find the benefit of that is, or what have you found the benefit of that is? And guys, have you heard of that? The cinnamon?
That's a funny thing because my daughter, who flies with me, just started. Speaking of cinnamon, she told me, "Dad, you got to give the bird cinnamon."
But what's the reason for cinnamon?
It's like it's the same as like how the hell do you say it?
Is it like a cleansing?
Fighter, yeah. It's like
it'll seem like I've heard people using paprika.
Something like that. It's almost like using,
I don't know,
garlic oil or.
Okay, so we're not sure if it really works, but it sounds good. Hey,
well,
I don't know.
People just because my daughter, I tried it. I don't see no benefits.
But you're trying it. Good job.
We put it on a feed, and I didn't see it hurt him. So.
And that's another fun fact about Mike. Both your daughters are very interested in the pigeons and do fly, right?
Yes.
Right. And how old are they?
Montana's 18 and Presley's 19.
And they've been flying for a few years now, right? Like a while.
A couple of years, and they've been off and on. But my daughter is, she loves the pigeons. That's kind of what gives me the motivation more. So sometimes we have to motivate ourselves to fly pigeons too.
Oh, 100%.
She's given me that motivation the last few years.
Now, are they going to be giving you a hand with taking care of the birds that you're taking in, who you're handling for, or is that just going to be you?
Well, she says she's going to get her license and she's going to help me. So this is still a question in
you're going to have another trainer. See? Oh no, another weapon. You know what, Leah?
We're going to be in big trouble now.
Leah, you're going to start to be a trainer now too. Okay, Leah, you're going to start training.
I'll add that to the list of things.
As serious as you can get in this hobby, you also got to make it fun. So that's what I try and do.
Well, we're definitely having fun.
Speaking of, we've got Presley Van Kempen in the house. She is watching. Everybody give her a big shout out. She is Mike's daughter. Nice to see her on Saturday at the open house. Always nice to see. We had like 4 or 5 ladies.
Presley.
There we go. Presley, your dad's giving you a big wave. Nice to see the ladies come out. That's for sure. And great to hear that she's going to be part of your team. That's fantastic. Well done. So guys, if you have any more questions for Mike, please let us know in the comments. Reminder, we are taking reservations now for Mike. $225 per perch gets you into Mike Van Kempen's loft, where he will handle for you for all 8 weeks with an optional 9th week of fun-filled racing at the Pioneer Professional Racing Pigeon League of Canada.
That's right. Send them in and we'll win some money with you.
You don't actually think you're going to beat me.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's good. And guys, I totally recommend putting birds in Mike's loft. We're going to put some birds in your loft. We're going to sign up for a few perches because, hey, we can fly with Mike. Mike, you're going to fly our birds, and hopefully Mike will put a couple in ours. But, guys, you have a great opportunity to fly with a guy that knows the course, been on the course for a whack of years. He's flown young and old. He's lost a ton of races. He's won a ton of races. He's seen birds in form and out of form, healthy and sick. He's seen it all. He knows his way around the pigeon loft. He has fun doing it. And at the end of the day,
we'll bring out the best.
He will find the ones that have it.
Yeah.
He's got an eye.
He's got the eye. That's right. And that's why I say I'm happy to say that he's a handler, because I got no problem giving Mike birds to fly. Go do the work, because I know he's going to do it. And I've given guys birds in the past to handle pigeons, and all I've done is gone like this, Mike. What a bloody waste. Gave birds, I've sent birds to races. What a bloody waste. But I know with Mike, it's not going to be that way.
He's the kind of person you could give him a slice of bread and an onion, and he'll make a gorgeous meal out of a slice of bread and an onion.
The one thing I always said about Mike is he always has this philosophy, and we're the same sort of way. It's great to take crap and make it work. You know what I mean? We don't know what birds we're getting. We don't know if you're going to get 200 all-star birds or 200 crap, but it's taking crap and making it go the distance.
That's kind of, I get a joy out of that. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, nobody wants that bird. I'll take it. And watch out. I'm going to show you guys. You guys are going to be sorry. You should have took that pigeon.
That's right.
And I'll say something. Mike's sick in the head just like me and Ricky are.
Yeah.
Because we like this kind of torture. Sorry, Mike.
Just to give everybody a little bit of a FYI, this isn't your first time handling for other people. You did, like I had mentioned, for our Pioneer Gold Band. How many birds did you take in for other people? Was it like 100? I can't remember. It was quite a few.
70.
70. Okay, so this isn't Mike's
pigeons.
first rodeo. It's not like he's never taken in foreign pigeons before or raced anybody else's pigeons. He's not new at this. He has the experience.
Yeah, years ago I've done it, and I've always gotten pigeons from people. So.
And you get them to the end, and that's the main thing. He puts the work in.
Well, that's right. And that's why we asked him to become a handler, a professional handler, because we know that he's going to go the distance. We know that he has the results and the experience that are required, I think, to handle somebody's $100 banded birds. I think it's quite a responsibility, and it's only being offered to those that we feel that can handle it, and Mike is one of them. More questions. JZ, is he on your website? Yes, he is. Where do you guys go? I will put the link in the comments after I ask these questions where you guys go, but it's fipa.ca. I'll put the link where you go directly to reserve purchase in either Loft Manager Richard, Loft Manager Ryan, or now Loft Manager Mike's Loft. David Tracy, can you ship birds easily from the States to Canada, or are there restrictions because of COVID? And hello to Brian Mansker. Ryan, you answer the question about.
Yeah, we're going to have a collection date for U.S. breeders. It'll probably be sometime middle of April. It'll be middle of April or the last week of April. We're going to do a U.S. pickup for guys that want to participate in this race with Richard, myself, Mike. We might have another few handlers. We're not going to say anything yet, but with the three of us, I will do the pickup for that. You guys will just ship them up to our address in New York. We'll bring them over and disperse the birds. No problems.
Yes, Ryan's going to handle that himself.
Here's a thought. What about people who don't own a pigeon? What if you said, hey, send the $225 and I'll put a band on a pigeon for you, and you own the pigeon, and I will fly it for you.
There's another way to do it, and I mean,
so people who don't own pigeons,
can participate.
Get in, and bet some money. Buy one or two birds. I'll put the band on.
So
for
you put a band. They buy a $100 band. It goes on the bird.
Yeah. And you got a chance to win 9 weeks in a row. Right?
And this is another thing we wanted to talk about, and Mike hinted on it. And we've done it for people. We've helped people out. Yeah. We are going to offer to our breeders or our handler. You're a handler. We're going to have an auction where we'd like for you to breed maybe 5 or 10 youngsters with these $100 bands. We're going to put them up for auction. The guys can buy them. They can pick your loft or my loft or whatever. And they can disperse them, and they own the birds the same way. And we're going to raise some money that way.
Idea, yeah.
Another good idea for people, to try the birds. This guy here's got excellent pigeons. Don't kid yourself. He gets excellent results. He's got an eye for pigeons. He's got a magic eye for buying real cheap pigeons. You do. You have bought at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, and we always joke. Yeah. Mike will come in and he'll go, I won this week. And I go, Ryan, you know that $225 bird I brought from M&C Hansen 3 years ago? That bird's bred me 7 combine winners.
That's
And,
right.
or the Baker bird you bought, or
Yeah.
the
No,
or
100%.
the grizzle.
Mike's
The
got
grizzle,
a fantastic collection of breeders. That's why he also does so well, because he has some great bloodlines. But yeah, for those of you, like, hey, if you're watching the rebroadcast at 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't even know what the heck pigeon racing is, but it kind of excites you, and we've excited you by what we're talking about today, you don't
exactly.
need
Give
to
us a
have
shout.
pigeons to take part in this. If you're interested, we will hook you up with a breeder. We will hook you up with pigeons to get you involved. Just ask Tracy. Tracy's never
Yeah,
owned a pigeon
Tracy.
in her life, and she's having the time of her life.
Yeah,
If I can make a statement.
Yeah,
Mike said pigeons, he was born into pigeons.
right.
Born into pigeons. You were born into
Yeah,
pigeons.
go ahead.
So we got Mike's 58 years in pigeons.
Yeah.
You got 40 years,
Yeah.
almost pigeons. I got 60 years pigeons, okay? In all these years that we've had, we can almost tell. I mean, this might sound a little bit stupid.
yeah.
When a pigeon has a headache.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You look at the birds and you got that.
ESP.
Well, that's what's so fascinating about this hobby, because as long as I've been in it,
Yeah.
I don't think you ever gonna
You learn.
stop learning.
You just keep learning.
Never.
Keep learning. Keep learning.
You know, I remember when this guy was 5 years old.
Who?
You.
Oh,
Ryan.
I thought you were talking about Mike. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah. And we were driving in the car, and he says we went through town, and there was a cockbird driving a hen, and he says to me, came right out of his mouth, "Dad, look at that cock driving the hen." He was only five years old.
Yeah,
So you know he already had that.
Something happened to me right then and there. It was like I was abducted by the alien.
Okay, let's keep on track here, and then I just want to show everybody the website. But Frank has a question for Mike. Speaking of the 70 that you handled with the gold band, out of the 70, how many did you have left at the end? And how many races? Wait a minute. I'm just going to ask it. I'm going to read it. Out of the 70, how many were left on the end? How many lost before the races started? There we go. Mike?
Well, when we started out with the 70, I started the first 4 bird series. I think I had 55. And at the end, I was down to 12. Believe it or not, we had that one bad race out of
We were French.
Mount Laurier.
Mount Laurier.
Yeah, we were
And
French.
I lost 30 pigeons from that race.
Mike?
I don't know what happened, but
That
anyway,
was the one that we got hammered at
it
too.
was
I
a tough
think.
one. It was a tough one, and
I went to the club, and I still say that night. I came out of there, and I said it's either going to be Mike or it's going to be me.
yeah.
I didn't say my dad. I said it's Mike or me. And you
So
know
that
what?
was a little
We got
disheartening, but
We got killed. It's okay.
And we
It's
were
pigeon
feeling
racing.
confident in that going into that one too. And boy, the French
well, I
sure
was
showed
feeling
us.
confident the whole year. That one kind of kicked me in the pants.
We were
a bit, but hey,
say la vie.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a fun one. Next question, Leah, fire it in.
Okay, so I'm just going to show everybody, just in case you don't know where to go. I haven't put the link up yet, but if you go to fipa.ca, that's going to take you to our homepage. Okay, now, as you guys know, we have auctions running, which we're going to talk about that at the end. We got something special to show you guys. So you kind of have to like scroll through until you get to where you see the Pioneer bands, because of course our auctions come first at this time of year. So you just click on View Auction, and this is where you buy all things Pioneer, 2022 Pioneer, including your memberships. And if you're flying your own bands in any of the band categories here, you just add to your cart, however many you want, add to the cart. And if you keep scrolling down at the bottom of the page, you're going to see our handlers, where we have Loft Manager Ryan, Loft Manager Richard, and now Loft Manager Mike. If you want to reserve purchase in any one of these 3 handlers' lots, you just click on the lot. We're just going to go to Mike, seeing as we're talking about him today.
Buy me a couple for Mike.
Bring him to Mike's
down.
loft.
It's going to tell you all the information under the details section, all about Mike and his price and the price breakdown and his handler information, his career highlights, Up North Combine, the house league there, Champion Loft. Up North Combine champion bird, Up North Combine champion average speed, countless open race wins, including first Pioneer Gold Band Race 1 Englehart, and won loft winnings in excess of $51,000 at the Empire Classic, among others.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn impressive. So if you're interested in reserving some perches in Mike's Loft, you just head on over here. The amount of perches you want, with it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, add them to your cart, check out, pay by PayPal or e-transfer, and we will send you your bands, and away you go.
Yeah, it's all there. There's the guy there. We brought you the best. One of the very, very best around. Committed, going to give it a good go.
I'll say he shoots straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, that's
Yep.
right. And that's why he's here. Yes, he's going to be running the Benzing clock. There's no problems there. So it's going to be, you guys are in his loft or in the Pioneer lofts. You're with our handlers. You are going to know when we're training. You're going to see the results of the birds. You're going to see it all on real time. And we will have, as the season goes on, as Mike starts doing loft flying, we're going to say to Mike a few times a week, put your clock on so we can have a live inventory. So you guys sort of know where you sit. We will, throughout the season, go up to visit Mike at his place. We will have Mike come down, talk about some birds. We might even do a show where we're banding the birds, just so you guys sort of see the birds and get familiar with them. And feel like you're a part of it. Again, I think this pigeon racing, I would love to get into horses, but it's just out of the price range. But this getting pigeons, like picking, saying, hey, Mike, breed me some birds, or buying some birds and getting them in your loft, or getting them in our loft and flying. It's cost efficient, and you get the same damn thrill.
Yeah.
Forget horse racing. Go with pigeons.
You can watch it, like you say, right there.
So what I've heard is Mike's daughter is going to help train. And I heard that Mike is buying is Montana, is it?
Yeah.
Presley or Montana.
Presley going to be buying a Mercedes Sport convertible with a trailer hitch on it.
Pigeon racing will be better than horse racing. Yeah. Just give her time.
You're right.
Give her time. Those are some good final words from you there, Mike. Just give her time. If you guys have questions for Mike, please, you can go ahead and ask in the comments or any other pigeon-related questions you have. We're going to wrap up the show here shortly, but we did want to bring on a Pioneer Superstar available now at the Dave Ottaway clearance sale online auction running on FIPA.ca now until Friday. The auction closes on Friday, but we wanted to show you guys one of the Pioneer Superstars from last season. If you guys remember, Mona's Widow, I think, is it Mona's Widow? Mona's Widow 94. I think last year it was known as like Mona Lisa versus Black Widow, and I think Dave just kind of shortened the name. But she is available on auction, up for bid, at feathersleepigeonauctions.com or FIPA.ca, the Dave Ottaway auction. And we're going to show her now to you guys so you guys can have a little bit of a look-see. Ryan, you have her there?
Ricky's going to go grab her.
Okay.
Fun fact.
And while just 1 second before you say the fun fact, Glenn the Hurdle Thornley, does Mike get a Cleveley drone? Well, I don't know if that's in the contract, Glenn, but
welcome, hey Glenn, welcome back, Glenn. We've got a job for you, Glenn the Hurdle Thornley. He's back on the wagon. Welcome back, Glenn. Glenn, get yourself a drone. You are going to be Mike's drone man. And you listen. If you want Glenn to jump anything, he will. He's an Olympiad champion. Okay. Welcome back, Glenn. Nice to see you on.
Another
Mike's
good question
droning.
from Rita. Question for Mike. Will all the birds that people enter train and fly with your own young birds? That's a good question.
Well, that loft over there, that's your own.
Yeah, but I'm going to do them all together.
You're mixing.
When I'm going.
Yeah, you're mixing.
I have to go to my farm, so they're going.
So he's going to be double dipping.
Everything's going.
Right. Oops. Everything's going.
Ryan, before you bring that beauty up, I just want to make sure that I show everybody what it is that we're looking at. Okay, so you answered Rita's question. Brian Mansker had a good day. Second place, 400 miles. 710 tailwind, 1,500 yards per minute. My grizzle hen. Way to go, Brian Mansker. Go ahead, Ryan.
Good job. Okay, so we're running right now on FIFA.ca, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, the Dave Ottaway clearance auction. He is going to be on the show this week on our Feathers Elite page. So please, guys, go over to that page, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and YouTube for that. The live interview with Dave. It's going to be
live
fun.
interview with Dave Ottaway. It's going to be Wednesday night, I think, right, Ryan?
Wednesday night, yes. We're going to have Dave on the show, and he's going to pick some of his highlights of. But Mike Van Keppen, you've flown against Dave for a number of years.
Yeah.
When he was up here.
Yeah.
Good flyer.
Oh yeah.
Good birds.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Guaranteed.
And you were here this weekend looking.
If somebody wants to start, fill your loft with some of his.
Good birds. He stands behind them. You've had good luck with some of Dave's birds, have you not?
Yes, I have.
And I seen Mike here on the weekend. You were doing some browsing. I seen you.
Yeah, I'm watching.
I seen you. Now, we're going to see on the screen here now that you see this pigeon. This is the pigeon I pick of the sale. Richard has picked it. I picked it. I'm going to let Mike handle it here in a second. This pigeon here, to me, is just an awesome, awesome bird in the hands. Bang for your buck. This is the bird of the sale.
I'm going to just, I'll just do my spiel here before we talk about this beautiful, beautiful hen. This is lot number 1 in the Dave Ottaway, the Hens online auction. Then number CU 2020-20094. You guys will know her as Mona's Widow, 94. Of course, an original Dave Ottaway, a Pioneer One Loft Racing champion, Pioneer 2020 winner of Equal First. 3rd on the drop, 3 birds on the drop at 373 kilometers. Equal First, 2nd on the drop, 429 kilometers. 15th at 164 kilometers, 15th at 120 kilometers, 24th at 164 kilometers. Bred from a winning family of one loft racers. Available, Ryan knows her well because Ryan flew her all last year. Let's have a look at lot number 1 in the Dave Ottaway sale. Mona's Widow. Where you want to show her, Ryan? On that camera there?
Yeah, on this small one right here, right in front of me. Now she's just up a little bit like that.
Closer to Dad on the. There we go.
There we go. She's a super hen. She's got strength. Let's just see the back. The back on this hen, strong, 1-pin tail. The muscle on this hen. She's rippling again. She goes into a basket and she blows out underneath. Forearm is super, super tight on her. Nice wing. And I know what the bird went through. I played with the bird. I punished the bird. I flew the bird hard. She got a nice vibration. I know you love this hen, Ricky. I don't think you can go wrong with her. She's got a nice eye. Mike, I'll let you handle her for a minute. Watch your earbuds, Mike. And you give us your opinion on the hen, if you like her or not. Again, a little longer cast pigeon.
Now, just a reminder for everybody, in case you weren't following along with us last year, this year it was the mass exodus. We had a terrible time with losses. Last season, we had a terrible time with health. At the beginning, we lost a number of birds before we even started training. So this pigeon here not only survived that whole hell of boot camp, but I know that she did come to the loft rather old, didn't she, Ryan? Wasn't she pretty late? Dave always likes to send his birds a little bit older.
Yeah, this bird came as an older pigeon, and you see me holding it up here. It did real well there in those 2 races. It was equal. It was an equal first, right up at the top there in the combine when it was flying. Bird did excellent. And Mike, what do you think of this pigeon?
Well, that's just a young hen.
Yeah, a yearling.
Wait till she gets 2 years, 3-year-old.
Right.
Look out.
Now, would you not say this is super quality?
Oh yeah.
Beginner or expert, you want to try one out. There she is there on the screen. She's an intelligent hen. She's got a rich eye. You can put this eye onto anything, but it's got flying and breeding in it. Take a look.
She's already proved it in the basket.
She's proved it in the basket. And again, it flew 8 weeks last year. And I will tell you, we had at the end of the season, guys could auction off their birds. And what did Dave say about this hen? I want the hen back. I don't want to sell her. I want her for breeding. And I think this is a real cracker. The price right now makes me shake my head. This pigeon should be over $500 already.
Guys, if you're wondering where you're going to see these videos, they are all either on our YouTube channel, on our Dave Ottaway playlist, The Hens or the Cocks, or if you check out our website
right away.
And you have a look on the lots in the details section, you will see all of these videos where we go through each one of the lots. Ryan handles them all, and I say a little bit about each bird. We do an eye sign, the live photo, as well as the still photo, which will be coming up here shortly. Ryan's just giving her a show. I figured we'd be able to see her much easier with this angle, Ryan, than you having her there. But Ryan, hold her up in your camera as well. You'll see it is the exact same pigeon. This is the 20094. Very nice, beautiful pigeon. Go ahead, Ryan. We've got some noise here in the background, some sawing wood.
Well, you can hear the wood sawing. That means it's a damn good show. But she's a super hen. I don't think anyone would go wrong. And Mike, you said it. Nice pigeon?
That pigeon should make an impact in somebody's loft right away.
There you go. And this would be a type of bird that you'd be interested in, correct?
Yeah.
You handle this bird. It fits your build of a pigeon.
Like Mike said, Mr. Basket proved it.
Already judged it once for you.
Yeah.
And she's got the eye sign. She's got the muscle. She's got the feather quality. She's got the forearm. She's a little bit longer cast of a pigeon. Guys, Leah, where do they go to bid on this pick?
feathersleeppigeonauctions.com or fipa.ca. You will see Dave Ottaway's auction is separated into the hens and the cocks because he has quite a number of birds. This is a clearance sale. So I separated them into hens and cocks, 2 separate auctions, just to kind of make it easier for everybody. His auction closes on Friday night. By the way, the hens will close first and the cocks will close second. So it's a double header now on Fridays, Feathers Leap Fridays, we like to call it. Frank Eichhorn's asking, do you know if Dave bred the bird and how did they do? You know what, Frank? You'll be able to ask Dave because he will be live with us on Wednesday night over on Feathers Leap Pigeon Auctions and on our YouTube channel, the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Live breeder question and answer where you're going to be able to ask all the questions you have about his lots. So if you're interested in any of the lots, write your questions down beforehand. And when we're live on Wednesday night, you can ask Dave. That's what he's going to be therefore, to answer your questions. I don't know if he's showing breeders or not, Ryan, is he? I don't think because of his current, like his new living situation. Anyway, we'll have to ask him.
No, we got enough birds to show on that anyways. That's fine.
Now
we're going to just keep it in-house.
Another thing, we're not going to be showing all the birds because I think there's like 68 lots in total with the hens and the cocks combined. Dave's going to pick 15 or 20 of the ones that he wants to showcase to bring on, and we're going to talk about those. If you guys have specific lots that you are interested in learning about or seeing again, Wednesday night is the time to do it. So let us know ahead of time. Maybe I'll put a post up tomorrow if anybody has any lot requests, because we're not going to do the virtual open house this week because there's just too many birds, like with the Dave birds. So if you guys have a request, you want to see a specific lot in the Dave Ottaway hens or cock sale, I'll put a post up on our auction page tomorrow for you guys to put your requests in, and then we'll bring them on Wednesday night for you. Now, but I mean, there's tons of information on our website, guys, including full videos like we just showed you of every single bird.
I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that hen that's here,
the hen,
yeah, this one here, blue bar, I believe her mother is also in the sale.
Yeah, you know what, Frank, Mike Vandiak just asked, are the parents in the auction? And that is correct. The mother to the 20094 is up for auction. I can find out what the band number is of that, Ryan. Well,
419. She's the 419. She's either lot 19 or 20.
Gorgeous sale. Black white flight.
No, she's a jet black hen. I did the photos. I did everything on these birds, and I'll tell you, when I put the black hen in my hands, I said, "Boy, this black hen would go, or this black would go perfect onto this hen here."
Yeah, here
but
she
it was
is.
her mother.
But that's a good question that I asked. So she's pure black, no white flights.
Just a minute. There we go.
I think there's a white plate on her. There she is. Look, she's.
There you go.
She's.
What about the cock?
I don't.
This is the dam to the 20094 that we just showed. This is lot number 21 in the hens Dave Ottaway sale. This is the dam again of the, just a minute please, Dad, of the 20094. Best of South Shore's Black Widow and Hollywood Hofkin champion winning bloodlines in the pedigree. But of course, you guys can, read all about the lots here on our website. You see, here's her video. that you can click on and watch. But we do have the details here written. We have photos for you to look at, videos, the whole 9 yards. Everything you need to know about the lots to help you guys make informed bids, we have on our website. So check it out, fipa.ca. This auction closes again on Friday.
That's right, and we show you everything. We show you the eye sign video. We show you the video how the bird is in your hand. We have the breeder on. We want you to make an informative bid. We give you an open house every Saturday at Feathers Elite headquarters here. Ask Mike. You come down. Mike's come down and seen birds from Germany, Denmark, Holland, Canada. He gets a beer. He gets a ride. He has something to eat. He talks to the pigeon guys, and he's in another world looking at pigeons. We bring the very best. Take your time, do your shopping, do your homework. I see auction sites, poor photos, poor information. You know what? Poor.
I'm always going to say, come down, handle every single bird that's on display. Get the feel, the fingers, your hands, feel, look, talk to people. You can't go wrong. It's a learning experience. Okay?
And
that's right.
It is. And
the way I do it, I always never handle them. I always look every single bird first.
Right?
Eye sign, just like look.
What's your
eyes?
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, okay, and then you go back, then you handle.
Say, oh, that's
look
the one
first.
I like.
Don't handle. Look first.
Oh, that's a good point.
And when he's saying he's looking, he's not turning the pedigree. He's looking for the bird that catches his eye.
That's right.
It's like,
look, I don't look at the pedigree, nothing.
Yeah, it's like going out and meeting somebody. You know, look, that I want to go meet that person. You got to use a bit of your intuition.
That's right.
What you like.
A lot of people I see are looking at the pedigree right away.
But that's backwards.
Don't look at the pedigree.
No.
Go through, look at the birds first.
Look, handle, then start looking at pedigree.
Then look.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy anyway. Like I could be wrong
and
too.
You do very well. You pick them good. You've had some hell of a good luck. Good luck. It's not good luck. It's good picking. You know, and there's a bit of luck to it. But
sometimes I think you're right. Though. Sometimes you just know what to look for. Like it's called animal husbandry or whatever you want to call
stock
it.
sense.
Stock sense.
All I'm saying is enough years in flying birds. You got the eye, and you got the feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Not always, but
you're close. You're there. Go ahead, Leah.
A good wife.
Rita has a question, but I just wanted to mention about the open houses and coming on Saturdays and why it's great for those of us who have had, 50 years of experience and those of us who are just starting out. The reason why it's a great place to come, not only because you get to handle all these different birds, you don't even have to be buying. Just come and look and handle and look at the pedigrees, and you're going to see the way different birds handle from different strains, from different bloodlines. It's a great way to learn. But not only that, we have such a diverse group of people who come on Saturdays. We have the super experienced, and then we have the brand new. And it's in a relaxed environment, meaning it's not on shipping night. It's not at strike off. It's not when we're in race mode and we're, just focused on training and winning and, on edge. It's a very calm, chill, relaxed environment and a good time to pick people's brains and to talk about things and to socialize. Absolutely. That's what I think.
If I can make one point, people in the Pioneer Club, and you said shipping night, Leah. Mm-hmm. This is not a regular shipping night in our club.
No.
We are all, there's no tension. There's no, I've been in other clubs and it's almost like going to a funeral.
We're not like
this is not going to a funeral. Actually, at times, our club members almost forget about shipping.
Yeah, we have fun.
We have such a good time.
It's a fun time. And I will say another thing. The pigeons that we bring here to Feathers Elite, okay, and I'm talking, the North American breeders is one thing. You guys know your local breeders, and that's great. The imports we bring in, we've been bringing them in now, this is season 4. This is a man here that's purchased numerous birds from us. You've had good luck with all of them, pretty close?
Yeah.
Wins. Big combine wins.
He hasn't got rid of one of them yet.
He hasn't got rid of one of them yet. Now, and you haven't spent big money.
No.
No. One of these days you will, but you've had very good luck. You take a look at this year, and I say it time and time again. Salem One Laugh Race was won by Pioneer, by Feathers Elite Birds, out of Feathers Elite Birds. The Dutch Touch, Feathers Elite Birds. The Pioneer, Feathers Elite Birds did it. At the Hoosier, some top birds, Feathers Elite Birds. And Mexico, Feathers Elite Birds. Come down, look every weekend. I don't want you to buy a pigeon. I want you to come down and look every single weekend. And if you do that, and you do your homework, you will find the right pigeons.
And it's a great social time, and it's a great time to talk to other flyers and see what they're doing and find out different tricks and tips, especially for the new guys. And it's so nice to see on Saturday, we did see a lot of the new guys come handle the birds, talk to Dave, talk to, Dave Booth, Wally Bielek, guys who've been doing it for, Mike was there for a number of years. Just talking, socialize, learning, absorbing. It's important. I think it makes you a better flyer. I really do. I think staying at home and not exposing yourself to this, especially when you're new at it. And even if you've been doing it a long time, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. But hey, that's just
It's a
my point of view.
nice afternoon out.
It is.
Talk about Wally Bielek, for example. He got a bird at an auction last year or the year before. He got it literally free.
Oh, I think their volume cut out there or something. I can imagine what they're saying. Ryan says, hang on, he's going to fix the audio. Rita, I'm going to get to your question here in a second. Troy, you're not a brand new guy, but where were you on Saturday? You should have came.
Getting back.
There you are. You're back. I got questions, so.
Okay, getting back to it. I've traveled to Belgium and Holland. I sat on a plane, crammed. I get there. I go to the shows, and I go booth by booth by booth, and I go through birds after bird after bird after bird after bird after bird. And I would do that every weekend if I could get there to do it. You people here in our area, I don't care where you are, 6 hours away, drive down. It's not far. You're seeing the best of the best of the best. It's right here in your backyard. Take the advantage of it because, hey, one day we might not be doing it, eh? You never know.
Well,
you never know.
Go ahead, Leah. Questions.
Questions. We have questions that we're going to have to wrap it up soon because we almost been on 2 hours.
Okay.
Mike's got other things to do. Rita says, question for Mr. Mike Van Kempen. Was your father a racing pigeon man?
Yes. That's how I got into it. He was from Holland, moved here. He never even knew they had pigeons in Canada, and then
he figured it out.
He found the loft and
away you go.
Started racing. 1968, I believe it was.
Long time.
Long time ago.
A lot of seasons of racing.
So Mike's from
so I
Dutch,
just fell
Dutch
right
background.
in line. Dutch, yep.
Kathy, hello. Nice to see you on. Hope your head is feeling better. Thank you for the lovely gifts from you and Frank and Emily. Really do appreciate that. That was super sweet of you. I haven't had anything yet, but I'll let you know how the wine and the goodies are. Thank you very much for that. Jeff Henderson watching all the way from Australia. Nice to see you on. If you've just tuned in, Jeff, this is Mike Van Kempen. He is another one of our Pioneer $100 band handlers. He is accepting purchase for $225 a perch, flying the $100 band category in the 2022 Pioneer Professional Racing Pigeon League of Canada. So if you guys are interested, you know what to do, pipa.ca. That's where you reserve your perches. Frank says, see, he was there on Saturday and he picked Wally's brain. Very smart, Frank. Very smart. Troy, I wanted to come by, but time didn't allow me to. Oh, well, we'll be back there again this weekend. Troy, open house on Saturday. I know one of the auctions, V&V Lofts, the best from Bill and his partner, the DeVrents, just working on the pedigrees here now and finishing up the videos, is Super Collection. Guys, if you do not subscribe to our YouTube channel, please head on over there and subscribe because we always post the videos of the birds, that little spiel there that you saw, ahead of the auction opening over on our YouTube channel. So if you want first dibs on who's coming up next, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Feathersley Pigeon Auctions, and be the first to know because you're going to see over there before you're going to see them on our website. Just a little insider tip there. Back to you, Ryan.
Well, I think we've come to the end of the course, guys. I stand behind this guy here beside me. Mike's going to do a hell of a job. We're happy that you're on, Mike, and giving it a go.
Oh yeah.
Remember, if you're in our local area and you want to fly your own birds, and this you can. We've got bands starting from $3 up to $100. Pick the level you want to compete at. I do recommend those $100 gold bands. It's going to be a huge, big pot. Between Mike, Richard, and myself, you're looking at already close to 60,000 in race money up for grabs. So it's going to be a great, great 8-week series. Don't hesitate, guys. We're here for you.
Oh, Rita has a good question. Will there be a limit on how many birds you take from outsiders? On our website, you'll see how many perches are still left available. Mike, what was it you said you were taking? 100? I can't remember. 200?
200.
200. So Mike's taking 200. And as I said, on our website, as the perches get reserved, that amount will go down. So you'll be able to see how many perches are left in the loft. So 200 in Mike's loft, 225 with loft manager Richard, 225 with loft manager Ryan.
That's that.
And that's that.
That's it. I think we're good. I think we've got everything. We've nailed everything down. Mike, your first time on camera, you did excellent. You kept us on track. You're going to be here hopefully next week to keep us on for the 8 o'clock start.
Oh, next week. On next week's show, all about dry litter with loft manager Richard. He's going to show you tips and tricks on how to start off doing dry litter, what dry litter is all about, what a proper dry litter floor is going to look like. Troy also sent a video for us, which we're going to share next week as we talk all about poop and dry litter. So don't forget to join us for that. Pioneer Family Show, Monday nights, place to be. I'm going to sign off here from the control center. Want to thank Mike so much for joining us. And guys, you know what to do. Please reserve your purchase in the 2022 Pioneer Professional Racing Pigeon League of Canada $100 band league. I'm signing off, Ryan. Then you guys go ahead and talk all you want.
Well,
go ahead.
Ricky, good luck to you this year in Pioneer $100 band league. Good luck to you. And Mike, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Now,
you don't need it.
Listen. Both of you don't think you're going to actually beat me, do you? So you two can go and battle amongst each other. And remember, your birds will be looking forwards. My birds will be going, hey, what do you guys, can't keep up? No.
All I can say is, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Want to win? Send them to me.
That's good. I got to motivate these two guys. No, you know what? If I can even get close to this one or that one, I'll be happy. They're both two super great competitors, tough flyers. And
I think we're cheering each other on.
Yeah, we are.
The wind always blows two ways.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm Ryan. That's Ricky. That's Super Mike. Inch by inch, brick by brick, mile by mile. Pioneer Gold Band is where to be. Good luck.
You're looking at the wrong camera. The wrong camera. You're looking at the wrong camera.
Reserve your purchase now. Get on the Mike's loft. Pick Ricky's, or if you want to come dead last, pick me. I'll get you there. Don't worry. Thanks for flying with us, guys. We will see you Wednesday night for Dave Ottaway on the Feathers Elite Pigeon Auction page. Thank you guys very much for tuning in with us this evening.
Don't forget, Dave Ottaway auction online now. FIPA.ca. The hens, the cocks. Auction closes on Friday. And join us Wednesday night live. Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. In the house, Dave Ottaway. Breeder question and answer. Pick his brain. Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. That's it for me. Have a great night, guys.
Adios.
Good night.